Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel. It only seems like yesterday we were doing a tactical preview, and now we're back again, talking about Manchester United this weekend up against Arsenal, talking about trying to find a starting 11 that can win this football match, but also we probably do need a little bit of chatter about last night's game. It's quite rare on the channel that we do a stream immediately after a match. Normally we have to wait a few days, right? It's normally 5 or 6 days before we get to do a stream again. So we do have very much a sort of immediate fallout from the match, as well as a look ahead to this one this weekend. Now, you will notice that the stream starts with no Manchester United players on the pitch. That's not me losing hope and giving up on all of them and suggesting this is our best 11. This is us completely resetting. So completely taking off the pitch everyone that we saw last night, starting again, trying to come up with an 11 that can win this match. And I think when we talk about this match and trying to win this match, which of course we need to do, we need to try and win every game. We are Manchester United. We also do need to consider recent strain on different players. We'll come back to that. Players have played a lot of football in the past 6-7 days, so we need to consider that. We also need to consider something that Amarin mentioned here. We have to be really smart during a game against Arsenal. We have to check the players, to feed the players really well. They have to sleep. It's an important moment in our season. We have to survive Sunday and then be ready for Thursday. Now, maybe I am looking into this too much, almost taking too much from this. I get the feeling he's prioritising Thursday, which wouldn't surprise me at all. It's the biggest game of our season so far next week, after the draw last night. But maybe when we are making this 11, we do need to consider rotating and protecting players and prioritising the game in the Europa League on Thursday. Before we get into any of that, get into the chat down below and let me know what you think about last night, the match, the 1-1 draw, what you think about Manchester United right now, what you think about Ruben Amorim, certain players, football in general, life, how are you, how you been doing? Let me know all of that stuff in the chat and I will get down and read somebody's messages. And Matt, good afternoon. Ryan, Danny, there's loads of you. I hope you guys are all good. Hello, how are you doing? Not bad at all, thank you very much. Hope you are well. Arsenal dreams, always the same. Talk a big game, end in shame. Cook. What did you think about Dalot and Garnacho not wanting to give Rasmus the ball? I don't know that it's a case that they don't want to give him the ball. I think sometimes there's just something lacking a little bit up there, right? We all know that Dalot situation last night. I'm not going to get a picture up because it hurts every time I see it. We all know which situation we're talking about. I don't know how he doesn't cut the ball across. That should be Højlund ending his goal drought. We should be happy. We should be happy because we should win that game last night by a couple of goals, in my opinion. You've got some really good goal line defending from Sociedad players. You've got that moment where I don't know what the referee's doing. That move where we break and sort of get the overload on the last line. We're in a really good position with Garnacho, I think it is, and the ref brings it back like an absolute donut, we'll say. We had Dalot not passing to Højlund. We had, what else did we have? Just missed opportunities where we get into great positions, but we never quite make enough of it to actually get a chance for our striker or to actually get a shot off at goal or anything like that. So it's a bit of a weird one. I said it in my video this morning. The XG was relatively low for United, and we obviously still have problems in terms of our creativity. But the performance wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Again, when you consider the context of being away from home and all of that, I don't think it was a bad game. I think it was okay. Great video this morning. Thank you very much, mate. I enjoyed the match last night and I'm looking forward to next Thursday now. We just got to find a way to get through, right? We've just got to find a way to get through. Players are more selfish. Yeah, it's just about those decisions in the final third, isn't it? David, good afternoon, my friend. How are you? Let me just quickly pin that in the chat. By the way, guys, if you don't know, if you're new around here, or even if you aren't new around here and you just haven't noticed it before, we do have a Discord server that you guys can join. It's completely free to join. There is a link in the top of the chat right now, thanks to David. Like I said, completely free. Lots of good football chatter going on there, so get involved. And also, you will notice in that link, and you may have seen it on the channel in the past few days, we now have a second channel where I talk about different football teams for once, which is quite fun. We've covered Nottingham Forest. We covered Madrid versus Madrid in the Champions League. We covered PSG versus Liverpool. And the support has been good so far. I've got an Asensio video at Villa coming out in the next few days at some point. Let me know what other videos you would like to see. But also, go subscribe to that channel. And also, we've got David in the chat gifting the membership as well to Danny B. Danny, enjoy the membership as always, my friend. And David, thank you very much. Guys, you know what to do. Love hearts in the chat. Can I please shout you out? Not if you keep asking. Maybe if you go a little while without asking, then I might. I actually think we performed well. Yeah, I mean, I think if I was to sit here and say we performed well, people would shout standards at me, right? I think the bar is quite low at the moment. It was an improved performance. Again, the context of being away from home in Europe, in knockout football, a draw isn't a bad result at all away in Europe in a knockout game. That is always going to be a good result. Like, no matter what, that's a good result to take back to Old Trafford. You've just got to beat a very average team on your home patch, which is something that United should be able to do. Granted, our home form is quite poor, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it was decent. Defensively, we were compact. We spoke about that new pressing shape this morning. Will it continue into this game? I think not, and I'll explain why shortly. But yeah, I think it was a good performance overall. Help me renew my subscription. Let me quickly read up. Where's your message? I can't renew my membership. It's really annoying. Been trying for a week now. Ryan, I have no idea why that is happening. I have no idea why that is happening. Not sure. Bro, these days I just don't feel excited to watch United play at all. I think it's also right. I was actually quite disappointed watching the game live last night. I watched it back for a second time and enjoyed it more the second time round. I think there's this sense at the moment that you're 0-0 at half time and it's like, it's one of them again. We're 0-0 at half time. Oh my God, we're terrible. It's the end of the world. 0-0 at half time is such a common scoreline in a football match. But at United at the moment, because we've been poor recently, everything feels bad, right? Like I said, a 0-0 at half time feels like an awful result, but it's just not the case, right? I think we're going to win at 10-0. I would love that, my friend. I would love that. The team looks exhausted. Unfortunately, it's going to be a proper mental test for these players in the next games. Hope there's a good outcome to this. Well, that is what we need to get on to now, talking about the starting 11 for this game. You guys are going to completely pick it. However, I am going to interrupt a little bit if the team is too similar to what we saw last night, because I interpret these quotes from Ruben Amorim as an idea that maybe we might be resting just a little bit, rotating just a little bit to protect people for next Thursday. I think Onana played okay last night. Yeah, ball collection was good. I thought he claimed some crosses really well. I want to see more of his ball playing out from the back, but I think that's more of a team thing than an Onana thing. But yeah, I thought he dealt with everything pretty well, to be honest. Claiming crosses, it was nice. It sort of brought a bit of a calm to the defence, which we don't always get from him. Yeah, in terms of minutes, these are the minutes played in the last week. Of course, on Sunday, we went into extra time and eventually penalties against Fulham in the FA Cup. So some people played 120 minutes there. And then, of course, 90 minutes last night. So these are the minutes that we have played in the past two games. You can see Collier down there on 2. So how fit is he? I'm not sure. But if he is, he's going to be fresh and ready to go. At the top of the scale, Fernandes, De Ligt, Dalot, Mazraoui have played a lot of football. A lot of football. And fatigue may be kicking in. Xerxes as well, 208 minutes in the last week. There's some players we might need to protect here. The likes of Højlund and Garnacho, 158, 145. They can probably be okay. Casemiro is an interesting one. If we assume we don't have Ugarte for Thursday, so the Europa League next week, if you assume we won't have Ugarte for that game, we'll probably have to play Casemiro, who done okay last night. If we've got to play Casemiro in that one, he probably can't start this one, right? Because I think the chances of Casemiro playing 4 in a row, I don't think it's very likely, personally. So Casemiro, we might have to protect here. Yoro played a decent amount of football, but he's probably okay to go again, to be honest. He's still quite young. Dorgu, of course, not available for this game. Harry Maguire, we believe, is injured. Christian Eriksen is someone that we might need to turn to and have a look at. Xerxes needs to stay in bed for a week. Xerxes starting to impress. He's playing well at the moment. I was really unsure about him as an inside forward. In fact, I was really against the idea, to be honest. But he's playing well there. Anyway, it is starting 11 time. Onana is going to go in goal. We're not going to waste our time having a discussion there. We can, however, discuss the back three. As far as I am aware, we don't have any updates on team news, on injury news, or anything like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in terms of Ugarte and Maguire being the main two recently, I don't think we've got them back. Unless I've missed something. Have I missed something? We need to rotate again against Arsenal, but we can't play with the kids against them. Amorim is fucked. That's one way of putting it. It's not ideal, is it? Amas, someone to look at for this game. He is someone to look at because the wing-backs are tired, and one of them we can't play. Xerxes looks good, but he looks shattered. Yeah. He looked really tired in the game against Fulham. There was... What minute did Højlund come off in that game? He came off, Højlund, on around the hour mark, I think, against Fulham. Was it that game? There was one recently, anyway, where the number goes up to bring the player off, and it's Højlund's number, and the look in Xerxes' eyes was like, oh my god, I wish it was me coming off because I'm absolutely shattered. Like, that's the vibe that I got from him, and he actually went on to play the whole game, and then again last night played a lot of football, so he is tired. We do need to consider protecting him if we're looking ahead to Thursday. Alex, good afternoon, mate. How are you? What do you think of the game last night? I don't think it was too bad, personally. Anyway, back three time. De Ligt. 210 minutes in the last week. Tough. He might just have to go again, though. He might just have to go again, unfortunately. We'll see. What other options have we got? Lenny Yoro. I think he's playing really well. Really, really well. I think we have to manage expectations still. This is still a 19-year-old centre-back. One that, we shouldn't be building around just yet. I said this to my brother last night. In 3 years' time, we should be looking to build around him. Yoro is a player that, for now, we can keep bringing in when we need him, and then let's give him a rest, more so next season. But I think he's playing really well at the moment. He's playing good. We've also got Lindelof, featured in the past couple of games. Got a grand total of 69 minutes. Victor Lindelof in the past two, so he is an option for this game. And then I would say, realistically, the other centre-back shout would be Mazraoui. Played a lot of football. Need to be careful with him. Really careful, because 210 minutes in a week for a player that we would normally label as injury prone, certainly prior to joining United, worrying. Need to look after him. And also Aiden Heaven as well is another option for that centre-back position. What do we reckon? What are we feeling? What do you think the back three will be? And again, don't just pick the best back three. Try and keep in mind the fact that they've played a lot of minutes recently, and Amorim seems all too aware of that. And we probably are looking ahead to Thursday. Consider it. Alex with the 15-month membership. That's ridiculous. 15-month membership. Beautiful. I wanted to draw before kickoff, but not to get 3 points. Lots of positives, though. Good control for most of the game. Just didn't take chances in the final third. Yeah, the way I labelled it in my video this morning was a proper away game in Europe, where you just keep yourself compact defensively. You're fairly direct on the ball. Like you've said there, I think we should score 2, though, to be honest. I think we should score minimum 2 goals in that game, and we should be ahead now. I agree. Before kickoff, I probably would have settled for a draw, having watched the game. A little bit annoyed we didn't get the extra. Right, I am a little bit annoyed, but, these things happen sometimes. Also, by the way, guys, love hearts in the chat for Alex and the membership, as always. Legendary behaviour. I think we may see an appearance for Harry Amas. Maybe. I'm keeping De Ligt as the central centre-back. Let him keep that good form going. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Some people are potentially having an issue with the stream. If you are, everything is fine on my end. You might just need to refresh on YouTube, and hopefully that should sort it. But I think it's okay. Just let me know in the chat if you're having problems. Dorgu is booked, so the fullbacks will be Mazraoui and Dallo. Is there a chance of Amas coming in? Possibly. But let's sort out the back three first. Middle centre-back. Let's lock in De Ligt, I think. Let's lock in De Ligt for the middle centre-back. He's going to play that position. Right centre-back. It could be Mazraoui, as we saw last night. Could be Lindelof. And it could be Yoro. Is that it? Yeah, probably. Let's go. Poll in the chat now. AJ, would you do a video on Juan Jimenez? I'm going to try and find footage of him. If I can find footage and actually watch him properly, then Yeah, sure, at some point. But if I can't, then probably not, right? Few people having an issue with the stream. Yeah, if you are having issues, try refreshing it. Hey, David, that's cheeky, mate. That's cheeky. That's a yellow card. Yeah, try refresh your stream. That hopefully will fix it and let you back in. So just try that. Hopefully that'll solve it. Anyway, what is the poll saying? It's in chat now, by the way, guys. Top of the chat. Free to do. Just click who you want. Mazraoui leading the way at the moment with 41%. I said that wrong earlier, didn't I? Mazraoui was left centre-back last night. Yoro on the right. And this is, of course, the right centre-back that we are discussing currently. I think Mazraoui should start. I think Mazraoui should... Yeah, possibly. Yeah, if you are having problems with the stream, I do apologise. Again, just try and refresh and hopefully that will sort it for you. Something we do need to consider, though, is the pressing shape that we potentially use in this game, because I think that does affect how you set up with the back three. Because last night... Oh, I just knocked something on the floor. Last night, we saw a back three that looked like this. Now, realistically, we were probably expecting Yoro on the left, Mazraoui on the right-hand side, just because naturally that's where Yoro's played recently. Mazraoui has always been a right-sided defender, so this would have made sense. But we actually switched to this way round. The question is, why did we do it? Well. If I can find my players, where are they? Where's Dallo? I've lost him. Here he is. Dallo and also Dorgu in here somewhere. I think it's because we wanted to try and shift to that back four off the ball. I think that was the plan, and we obviously wanted the centre-backs this way around. I think we wanted the physicality of Dorgu to help out Mazraoui potentially being a little bit light. I think that was the idea. So if in this game against Arsenal, we are talking about trying to move to the back four at times off the ball, then we need to consider trying to get a fullback somewhere into the back three. If we're not so worried about doing this, and if we think that we might go for a more conservative approach, then if we want to, obviously Dorgu's not playing anyway, but we could go for someone like Lindelof into the back three to help us out. So these are options. These are things that we need to consider. At the moment, Mazraoui is winning the poll for right centre-back, which might make things a little bit tricky when it comes to the wing-back role. But if you want him, bosh. Mazraoui goes in at... Was that right centre-back? It was. Mazraoui, wherever he's gone, I've misplaced him again. Here we go. Right centre-back. Left centre-back, the options are the same, really. Yoro, Lindelof, Aiden, Heaven. What do we reckon? No Dallo, right centre-back? I would happily put him into the conversation if I thought there was a chance it might actually happen. But at the moment, the fact that we've only seen it, I think, for 20 minutes in the past 4 months, I would suggest it's unlikely at this moment in time. So that's the reason I've gone for that. And also, the lack of wing-backs at the moment. So if we do move Dallo deeper, we don't really have anyone else that can come in and play, which is a problem. Can Chidowobi start? He is certainly an option when we get to the striker position, because Højlund and Xerxes could be tired, so we will talk about him a little bit later on. If only Dallo had the engine to effectively make a difference in wing-back on either side. I think he's got the engine. I think what he lacks is the decision-making in the big moments, unfortunately, in the attack. His fitness, his athleticism, his quality up and down this side of the pitch. But he doesn't have that final ball. He doesn't have that end product. In my opinion, he's never been a good attacking fullback. I think he's a great progressive fullback, but an attacking one, I don't think he's ever been that. When we first signed him, there was a lot of talk about his crossing ability, and I just don't think we've ever seen it, to be honest. I just don't. I prefer Heaven over Lindelof. Yeah, obviously we've just got to consider the fact that what was I going to say then? I've completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, Heaven. Young player, big game against Arsenal. It's going to be a tough one. Physically, it might be quite a tough one. Is it the right game to play in? Don't know. You said yesterday about Yoro and I pulled you on it, remember? So a little appreciation for me. What was the conversation yesterday? I can't remember. What was it? Was it about Yoro playing on the left, you mean? Or was it something else? Camerson debut? Possibly. Again, I don't think we're going to see too many debuts in this game. Perhaps the comments, again, we'll go back to it. Perhaps the comments from last night suggest we might make a change or two. But I certainly wouldn't expect Camerson, Heaven, Amas, Chidowobi all to be there, right? I think maybe we could see one of them, but I'd be surprised to see more than two. One or two at most, I think. I think let's give Heaven minutes. It's an argument. Currently, Yoro is winning the poll, which is understandable. And I think it's fair. By the way, guys, no messages in all caps, please. I try and read out as many messages as possible. There's no need for all caps. Comes across as, I don't know, slightly aggressive or abrupt or something. So there's just not really a need for it. If you go lowercase, you've got a decent chance that I will try and read your message out at some point. We will get to see the youngsters come on in the second half for sure. There's probably been a lot of games where we've thought that recently, though, right? And it doesn't ever quite happen. Amarim a little bit hesitant. Does he not believe in their ability right now? Fair enough, if that's the case. Is he worried about bringing them into quite a hostile, negative, disrupted environment? I think that's probably more the case. In his appearance yesterday, he looked good, so it could be a potential start for him. Who we are talking about there? Collier. I really like the idea of him potentially starting. In the thumbnail, you would have seen Collier. I'm not necessarily saying this is my predicted 11, but Collier is one to consider. I think he might be able to do a job for us. I liked his cameo again last night. It's the basics of physically such a good player. He's got those long legs which help him win battles. He protects the ball well, wins free kicks, good passer, wanted the ball. I like Collier. I do like him. I think he's a really good squad player. Praying Maguire is fit. Yeah, you and me both. We could really do with that. If we're talking about this Arsenal team and how we faced them this season, do you remember those set pieces? Remember that set piece match? That's how I'll always refer to that match. The set piece match against Arsenal earlier in the season. Someone like Maguire being fit would be huge for us. Anyway, how is the poll going for Yoro? Or for left centre back? It's going to Yoro. 50%, no, 64% of the votes. Lenny Yoro. He comes into the team. Heaven, interestingly, had 5 times the amount of votes of Lindelof, which is interesting. Anyway, Lindelof and Heaven come out of the team, and now we find ourselves talking about central midfielders. In terms of central midfielders, we've got Casemiro. Decent game last night. Maybe a little bit tired. We'll look at that in a second. Bruno Fernandes. Almost definitely tired because he plays every game, every minute, but he's Bruno Fernandes. So he can probably go again. It's what he does. Christian Eriksen. Definitely an option. And also Collier. Again, I think he done well when he came on. And again, to go back to it, if we're talking about this quote, prioritising next Thursday, and then looking over here, Casemiro, 142 minutes in the last 6 days. Does he need another 60 in here right now? Does he need another 60 minutes this weekend? If we're prioritising Thursday, or do we need to save him? Let me know what you think. Chad, good afternoon, mate. YouTube stepped in to remove my message, or was it you? I didn't see it, but if it's probably for the best, I dread to think what it was. I think Ugarte and Collier should be the midfield axis from now until the end of the season. Allows Bruno further forward. I like the idea of it. Like I said, I think Collier I don't think there's anything special about him as a footballer. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I don't think he stands out as being some amazing technical midfielder or anything like that. But I think he does some really lovely stuff in terms of the basics. Again, last night he comes on, he just gets his body in. He protects the ball well. He wins free kicks. Aerially, there was one moment where the ball goes over him and he didn't win the header, but the leap looked really impressive. That guy took off. Physically, he's just got such a good base. On the ball, technically fairly safe, but he keeps the ball. United need that sometimes. I think Collier could develop, if we look after him properly, into just the absolute dream squad player for this United team. And if we're talking about a squad player, maybe trying to protect and save players a little bit at the moment, this could be the time to bring him in. The only question is, you can see it right at the bottom there, he's played 2 minutes in the last week. Prior to that, he's played no football because he's been injured and ill, I believe, as well. Is Collier actually fit to start this one? Because I really like the idea of protecting Casemiro, taking him out of the team, getting Collier in to start this game, but is he actually sharp enough to? He looked alright when he came on. But is he? I'm not sure. Don't you think we should keep Casemiro for next Thursday? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like the idea of bringing someone in for this game to protect Casemiro, rest him for Thursday. Assuming we're not going to have Ugarte, because I'm guessing he's still out injured for now, but I'm not actually sure. Manager has a reduced team with youngsters, no attacking options. We are hitting a lot of long balls again. Also, we need a conversation about Bruno. I would always love to talk about Bruno because he's an amazing footballer. So whatever you want to say about Bruno, let's hear it. Without Dorgu, who is our difference maker? It's a good question. I think we also need to not go too overboard on Dorgu, right? His athletic profile provides us with something really nice. At the end of the day, as he gets into the final third, he's a bit like Dalot in the sense that he is still a fullback. You know, he's not a winger. I love him as a player. I think he was a good signing for us. I think he raises the technical and the physical level of the squad. But I still think in an ideal world, for us to be more effective, we need a dribbling profile in front of him, because Dorgu can carry, of course, in moments and stuff, and he's explosive at times, but he's still not a direct 1v1 threat, right? This isn't a left winger, the same way that Dalot isn't a right winger. Long term, we do need to try and find those more creative players, those more technical players in the wide zones, the ball carriers, the dribblers. But I think Dorgu's had a good start. Tactically, you can see the benefit of getting him into the final third. I would just love it if his crossing could improve. That was one thing I warned you guys about in my videos when he signed. Not a good crosser at all. He gets into great crossing positions, but he's not very good with the final ball. So, yeah, bit of an issue. If you have Collier, maybe play an hour, then use Casemiro for last half hour, or use Eriksen for half hour. I think that's probably what I would be doing. I personally like the idea, let's take the wing-backs out, I like the idea of Collier and Bruno as double pivot for this game. Hopefully we get Ugarte back soon and we can change that, but for now, I like the idea of these two playing as the double pivot, and then, like you said, after an hour, can Casemiro come on? Can we protect Bruno? I don't know. I think if we were to see any protection for Bruno in this game in terms of minutes, that would be a huge sign of where Amorim kind of values the Premier League right now. I think that would be a huge sign. I was assuming Ugarte's fit. Yeah, have we had any update? I personally haven't seen it. Has anyone else seen it? Has anyone else seen if there's been an Ugarte update, whether he's available? Because I never actually saw the initial comments from Amorim ruling him out of last night, so I don't really know the severity of it all. So yeah, if you guys could let me know in the chat if we've had any sort of update or any sort of idea of his availability, that'd be great. Bruno is a freak, he'll start. Realistically, yeah. Crossing can improve over a preseason, off-season. Instincts is much more valuable from Dorgu. Yeah, 100%. I'm not writing off Dorgu as a crosser. At the moment, he's not very good at it, but he needs to work on it. Hopefully he works on that over the next 18 months, right? And he can develop and improve. And then we get something really nice down his left side. Because what I do like about him when he gets here is the speed at which he plays. You know, he gets on his left foot. He doesn't try and overcomplicate it, cut back 17 times. Just gets the ball and crosses it. Like, I hate to compare and diss a player almost. But you know that Dalot moment last night. I think if it was on the other side, I think Dorgu just flashes it across with the left foot. Dalot should have done it with the right. I think Dorgu would do it from the left. I like the speed he plays with. The embargoed press conference is released in 3 minutes. That will reveal Ugarte news if there is any. Ooh, okay. We will keep an ear out for that then. For now, we'll go as though Ugarte is out, injured. But we'll revisit in a few minutes if you guys give me the news, alright? So, midfield. It's going to be Bruno because it's always Bruno. So, let's go, what should we call this poll? Central mid partner. Options. Casemiro, who we do need to think about protecting. Collier, who hasn't played too much football recently. Eriksen, who lacks physicality. Really sold it to you there, haven't I? Obviously, they've all got positives as well. Eriksen, really good passer. Casemiro brings us something big on set pieces. Arsenal, set pieces. Casemiro, maybe we need it. But Collier, in terms of open play, brings a lot of energy. So, I think you could make an argument for all of them. I wouldn't go Eriksen, personally. I think an Eriksen-Fernandes double pivot is tactical suicide in this game, so I wouldn't go for Eriksen. It would be one of these two, for me. If we can get Ugarte in as well in a couple of minutes, that would help. That would help. Dorgu is our salvation, despite his crosses not yet being nailed on. He's left-footed. He plays on the left. We're easy to please, aren't we? We love that. He just does the simple stuff. He does the basics. If you guys hadn't noticed by now, I love a footballer that does simple stuff well. Gets onto his strong foot, does something with it. I like to see that. Not going to lie, Casemiro did well versus Sociedad, despite the critics lately. I think he had a good game. The only issue I had was that any time any sort of central midfielder actually tried to take him on and dribble past him, He obviously had problems. We know he's got those issues. We know he's not the most mobile, not the greatest 1v1 defender, but he's so beatable in the middle of the park that it does hurt us a little bit. Apart from that, I think he played well. Casemiro to start the half, I'd say. It's just a difficult one. I will keep going back to it. He's played 142 minutes in the last week. Does he have another hour in his locker here? Let's say Casemiro plays 200 minutes in 10 days. Does he then have it in him to start the game against Sociedad on Thursday? Not sure. Only 20 likes, Chad has just told me. Chad, thank you for pointing this out. Because that's not okay. 20 likes. I don't mean to be ungrateful, by the way. The 20 of you that have liked the stream, thank you. You got a place in my heart forever. Everyone else, if I speak, I'm in trouble. If you could please leave a like on the stream, greatly appreciated. Subscribe, notifications, Discord, second channel. There's loads to check out, so if you could, it'd be amazing. Brendan, thank you very much. Because United held possession better, Casemiro was less exposed. I made that comment in my video this morning. Under Ten Hag, there was this sense that we play forward too quickly, right? We lose possession a lot, we go direct, we lose the ball. Under Amorim, it's felt somewhat the opposite, where we played too slow, try and keep the ball too much, and we missed the opportunities to go forward. Last night, I liked the balance. I liked the balance that in moments we went forward really quickly, and ultimately that was still when we looked at our most threatening, but also when we were under pressure and we needed to slow down, I felt that we had the ability to do that as well. So I liked the tempo we played with last night. I think the ideas were right. The execution was lacking in several moments, of course. But I liked the idea, that the way that we were trying to play. I think it was good for us. By the way, Collier has absolutely dominated that poll. So he's going to go in the team, and hopefully he can dominate the Arsenal midfield in a very similar way. Like I said, we will keep an ear out for Ugarte news over the next few minutes. But for now, we're going to go Collier and Bruno Fernandes, which I quite like. Next up, we've got wing-backs. And we've got a problem. We've got a problem because we have voted Mazraoui into the back three, but we have done that whilst only having Dalot realistically as a senior wing-back option. Harry Amas, possibly, yet to make his debut. Could he come in? I don't know. To be fair, we haven't got too many youngsters in the team so far, so maybe he could. He's an option. Garnacho as a wing-back is probably the other shout. If not, we need to make a change, move Mazraoui further forward, and bring someone like Lindelof into the defence. Let me know what you think. I'm not falling for the Casemiro played well, 65 minutes, Sociedad did nothing. There is a pattern with him. When opposition don't press our midfield or sit back, Casemiro looks okay. 70 minutes plus he crumbled. I was surprised we didn't see a change earlier to bring Casemiro off. I think Amorim really values his experience in those moments, and again, set pieces as well. I would have had Collier on about 20 minutes earlier, because like you said, he did start to fade out of that game. And I think, I do agree with what you're saying, right? He had a good game, Casemiro, in my opinion, but Sociedad were poor. At the same time, you can only play against what's in front of you, right? You can't affect the opposition's performance in that way. And I think Casemiro always does well when he's got that pass ahead of him. We said it in the stream yesterday. Sociedad were always going to push high. We said that they like to play over high line. And we said that they're going to try and press, but there'll be moments where the press breaks. And if you can sort of combine yourself in a space, if you can combine in here, and let's say you get the ball, you go up, draw the man, then you set the ball backwards. This is where United were always going to be threatening. We covered that in the stream literally yesterday, and we saw it within 3 minutes of kickoff last night. Getting into these moments, playing the ball forward. Casemiro is great there. He is a good long passer. He's a good progressive passer with that sort of time on the ball. So is Bruno. That's why I think the approach was right. That's why I think we got it right. Like I said, yeah, Casemiro probably not perfect. I think he was beaten too easily at times, but I think he did okay. Well done for reading through that. Yeah, a couple of typos, mate, but that typing was like how I talk anyway, to be honest. Do you think the retained ball well enough to almost bait a press, then ball over the top to the runners? Looks like an effective variation, but would that work versus Rice, Saliba, Gabriel? I think we did it quite effectively last night. And I think it was intentional. I think it was intentional. I don't think it was United getting stuck as such. We were legitimately trying to draw the opposition onto us, trying to draw into these areas, and then, like I said, you sort of get that break where you go up and then back a little bit. Then you've got the ball on. We saw Hoyland, wherever he is, here. Lots of runs in the channels last night. Lots of runs. I thought some of his work out there was quite good. Get the ball into his feet. It was quite simple what he was doing, but I thought he was effective. I enjoyed his performance. It's a shame we don't get him the ball in the box, but I think he ran the channels well and done a good job of stretching that defence. Can he do something similar against Arsenal is the question. It's tough. It's tough. They're one of the best defensive teams in the world, right? Arsenal. They're one of the most physical teams. They're just a good football team. Unbelievably complete, well-rounded. They're tough to play against. It's not going to be easy for Hoyland. We're going to need to get numbers up towards him. I don't know if Arsenal will commit fully to the press. I think in moments they might leave themselves +1 back here. So 2v1 against Hoyland, which will make it tough. Amarim saying Ahmad may be fit by the end of the month. We're back. We've never been more back. We need to stay in the Europa League, get Ahmad back next month, and let's win the competition. That's the plan. I do think it could work against Arsenal because Arsenal like to play a higher line. If you can get them behind and catch them out, that's something that United have always had success with. Yeah, I do agree. Like I said, I think what Arsenal will do with their defensive structure is go into a 4-4-2 is how they'll press. I think they will do something like this. And what they're probably going to do is use these two rather than full-on aggressive pressing, particularly once the ball is settled. These two will probably try and block the passes into our midfield too. They're going to probably sort of make that box around us here, which means they can still have 2v1 against Hoyland. So it will be tough. Is there moments, again, where we can perhaps get into the diamond shape that we've spoken about in the last couple of days? Possibly. That's something that we might look for in this game. Why is Ericsson in the team? We never actually put him in. Let's end the month today. Should we just skip a bit? Should we just skip a month and go from there? So Amarim is saying whoever trains today and gets through it will be available for Sunday. Same goes for Maguire and Ugarte. It's a bit of a difficult one for us to use them, really, isn't it, in terms of trying to put them into this team. What we'll do is we'll do a team assuming they can't play, and then we'll do a team assuming they can play. And I think the can play is probably going to look a little bit better. So for now, let's assume no Maguire, no Ugarte. In the chat below, name me 2 wingbacks that you would like to see in this starting 11. Maguire injured, Ugarte injured. We're just assuming for a moment. Who would your wingbacks be based on the team selection so far? Dorgu, unfortunately, not available for this one due to suspension. Mazraoui out of the conversation because we've got him into the back 3. We're limited. We are very limited. Not to be negative, but even if Ahmad was back by the end of the month, he's not going to be anywhere near match fit. Yeah, I think realistically we can look towards mid-April. Probably would be a more suitable time because also there's not a need to rush him back, is there? We don't need to force that issue. Have you done a stream of all the players that are leaving the club? It's a crazy level of players that are leaving, and then people want more of our attacking players to leave on top of that. I haven't done a stream on that yet. We probably will do it at some point. Chad, Victor Moses and Marcelo, they would be banging wingbacks, by the way. Make that happen. Ahmad with crutches. It's not a bad shout. I would suggest Ahmad with crutches wouldn't be the least mobile player on the pitch. Yeah, there's a lot of players that are going to be leaving this club. Basically, have we got this down to the options are Dalot, Garnacho. I've lost him. Where's Amas? Amas and Camerson. I haven't got Camerson written down. What number is Camerson again? What number is he? I can't. Does he wear 2 in the academy? But let's put him in the 2. He's a right back, isn't he? Let's put him in the 2. Why not? These are options. Obviously, Dalot can play both sides. It's tough. Dalot and Mazraoui probably. I think Lindelof plays. I would agree. It's not what we voted, but I think that's how we line up. Yeah, David, I'm on board with that. I agree with that. Is this a chance to see Garnacho as a wing-back? And if so, what side would you put him? You'd probably put him on the right-hand side. If we're looking at this balance here with the rest of the team. Unless we swap these 2 over. Which we could do, to be fair. This would be interesting. Let's take the 2 youngsters out for a sec. This could be interesting. This could be interesting. Off the ball, we could move to the back four shape, like so. One of the front three could drop outside into this position here. We can go into a 4-4-2. Could be something to look at. Garnacho, it gets him as a sort of like direct player in the transition that we can use. I don't mind the idea of it. You know, I wouldn't normally look at Garnacho as a wing-back solution, but we're low on numbers at the moment. We're trying to find different solutions. This could be one. Let's be honest, Lindelof will definitely start. I would imagine so. I would imagine so. Heaven could be left wing-back. It's always an option. He could also be a central midfielder as well. Collier has played left full once too. Yeah, he did in a cup last season. We all know it's Mazraoui and Dalot, right? That would be my guess. That would be my guess. I think it'll be this. That would be my guess. That would be my guess right now. We won't see Garnacho as a wing-back. Amorim has made it clear plenty of times he's not good enough defensively, and it was the reason he took him off against Real Sociedad. I'm talking about a wing-back almost defending in a more aggressive shape. I agree that you wouldn't want Garnacho collapsing into the back five, but I think if we're trying to change to that back four, he becomes a winger anyway, so it depends on the shape. How do we set this up? Because I think it will be these three, but you guys did vote Mazraoui. So how do we move forward from here, guys? Do I overrule it a little bit? If we play Garnacho wing-back, then both of our strikers have to play, which is an issue. Yeah, they are fatiguing right now. Should we move on to the front three and then work our way backwards a little bit if we need to? In terms of front three options, we've got none. Højlund, Xerxes, Garnacho, Eriksen. The same three we had yesterday. Minutes-wise, working our way from the bottom. Eriksen, 80 in the past week. Good to go. Garnacho, 145. In a week, young bloke. I'd suggest he's good to go, certainly compared to some of the others. Højlund, 158. He's fine, he could play again if needed, particularly for an hour, something like that. And Xerxes, 208 minutes. Probably needs a rest. You guys are right. Chido Obi at the bottom there, 52 minutes. I should put him in as well. Have I got him here anyway? There's so many random players I've got on here that it's ridiculous. What number is he? We're going to give him number 100. There you go, mate. Because that's how many goals he's going to get in his first 2 seasons at the club. Any spam comments will not be read out. In fact, if you repeatedly spam, it decreases the chances of me reading your message. Because I see it and go, this guy's not being very patient. You can see I'm trying to read a lot of messages out, right? I'm trying to get around everyone, but I can't literally read every message. I'm going to try my best, and I want to hear your thoughts. Keep contributing in the chat. But in terms of like spamming one message over and over again, there's not a need for it, right? So if you could not, please and thank you, that'd be great. That would be very much appreciated. I think Amas might get a few minutes, but he lacks physicality. Technically, he is good. It's 50-50 between him and Camerson. Yeah. I don't think either of them will start the game. Perhaps they've both got a chance of getting on. I would suggest Amas is slightly higher in the pecking order, personally. Chido's 56. Yeah, we've changed him to 100 because that's how many goals he's going to get. Anyway, front three. Who are you picking? I've got a feeling I know how this is going to go. Let's start off with the striker. And I think I know how this is going. Drum roll, please. I'll get the drum roll for these strikers you're about to see in the chat. Are you ready? I always call him Chido Obi. Would he rather just be called Obi? Maybe. In a chat. No. Get voting. Get voting. Something tells me you've got a hell of a temper, but you have the ability to push it to one side of your head and just growl in your head low and wear a smile. I actually don't have a temper at all. I don't think I've ever shouted at a human in my life. Not in an angry tone, anyway. Only in like a jokey way. Yeah. I don't have time to be angry. Don't achieve much, to be honest. So I actually don't. Although I am good at covering up with a smile a little bit. But it's not anger I'm covering up. It's deep sadness. Anyway, Let's pick a front three, shall we? Who's winning the poll up front at the moment? This is what I thought might happen. Our young Danish striker... Oh, I punched the mic. Our young Danish striker is top, not the one that you would normally assume. It's someone a little bit different. In terms of Xerxes, yeah, in an ideal world, you'd probably start him because he's in good form at the moment. But... Tired. He looks really tired. Maybe he just needs a break. A little bit of a rest. Not sure. Seen him play a few games for the academy. Looks good with his passing and crosses. Can carry the ball, but he isn't physically ready for the Prem for me. But who knows? Give him a try. I think wing-back helps him, right? Because it gets him out of some of those back four situations where you're defending your back post all the time and you need to be big and strong and things like that. So I think he's helped by this system. But I do also agree that there are concerns over him physically. More so because of those around him as well. If we were a team like Arsenal who have physical people all over the pitch, you can bring in a more lightweight player. But because we're quite a lightweight team anyway, then it's harder to bring someone in. Is Ugarte unavailable? We're a little bit unsure. Basically, it depends if he trains today and how he comes through training, and we don't have that news right now. I reckon Højlund, Garnacho and Xerxes start, but then only play an hour. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't give Xerxes more than 60 minutes in this one. If Højlund misses a one-on-one goal chance, you wouldn't scream. Okay. During football matches, I get a little bit heated, but I wouldn't say I've got a temper still. I find it fun to shout at them, but I'm not actually like angry deep down inside. Maybe I've just grown up watching too much YouTube and I like play up to the camera that isn't even there a little bit. Chad, that's different. You didn't pass to me, mate. What if, hear me out, we sign Wazza on a 10-day contract and he scores a hat-trick? We could do that. I'd be down for that. Yeah, this poll's closer than I thought as well. I thought Chido was going to have about like 90% of votes, to be honest. What is Højlund giving us that Chido couldn't? Chido should be given his chance. Yeah, possibly. Service is subpar, completely agree. We need more chances for our strikers. I've shouted in my room at the team many times, I can't lie. Okay, what I'll say then, I haven't like ever actually had confrontation with an individual. I've never been angry enough to do that. But our players, yes, I shout at them sometimes. Referees, yes, but it's fine, right? There's like a telly in the way. They can't hear me, I don't think, so it's fine. That's not true anger. That's not true temper, I don't think. Unless it is, and I've got a problem. Everybody spam the comment and prove my point. You could see the anger in his face when he complained about spamming and then smiled. Cool guy. You better not spam that comment, man. Better not. I won't be happy. He hasn't got any senior team appearances after that, so that's a little bit of a problem. I'd love to see him play. I think that's the case with all the youth players, right? Would love to see him given an opportunity, but it's difficult to do. You know, you're... Okay, I was about to say Manchester City, but they're shit this year. But imagine Manchester City last season before. You got an amazing squad, a near-perfect squad. Physically, they're all really good. Technically, they're all really good. You win pretty much every game. It's so easy to go, Rico Lewis, have a game, mate. It's so easy to do that when you've got this positive environment, when the fans are in love with every player and love the club, and you're winning everything. It's easy to do. When you're United... of the past 10 years, I think it's a bit more difficult to put these youngsters in because they come into a fan base which I think at times is quite disgusting, to be honest, the Manchester United fan base. I'm not talking about you guys, we've got a good bunch here. But if you look online, there's parts of the fan base which aren't too nice at all. That's a lot of pressure for players. Players are aware of social media, particularly the younger players, right? They're very aware of it. We're a team that lose matches. We're a team that find it difficult on the pitch. We don't necessarily always have the leaders on the pitch to protect it and things like that. It is difficult to bring the young players in, but also give them a chance sometimes, I think, because Rashford's the example we go back to, right? That was a youngster who almost like wasn't expected to come into the team. We get the injury in a big European game. It's a weird one to balance. You can see me literally having the argument with myself, right? And that's what I like to do on these streams. Literally not pre-plan anything, just figure out as we go along. It is like in one moment, protect them. It's a difficult environment to bring players into. And then in the next moment, just give them a chance, right? Because what have we got to lose? What have we got to lose? I will say, I don't think there would be a lot of pressure. If Chido-Obi was to come in on Sunday and start the game, I don't think there would be immense external pressure, because I think everyone would go, well, Højlund don't do anything anyway, Chido-Obi can't be any worse. So we'd have to drop a proper clanger to really annoy people, I think. So I think you can start one of them. I think you can chuck one of them in. I wouldn't go more than that, personally, because I don't think it's right. There's a chance it really goes off. It really goes well, right? You put 4 youngsters in from the start, and we somehow beat Arsenal 3-0. And oh my God, is that good for the development of those young players? What an experience. But you could put 4 youngsters in, and they lose grip of the game, and we get smashed, and it's quite a bad day for them. It's difficult. I like the idea of one of them, maybe 2 of them given a chance. I don't think we need to do more than that. Anyway, Chido-Obi's won the poll, regardless of everything that I've just waffled on about. Chido-Obi wins the poll. He did, right? He did. Xerxes only 5%. Is that us protecting him or not wanting him as a striker? Could wreck Højlund's confidence. Yeah, something else to think about. Chido-Obi comes into the team up front because of the poll, which leaves us basically with Garnacho, Xerxes and Eriksen to go into the 2 inside forward slots. And I don't think we need a poll for this. Just give me 2 names. Eriksen, Xerxes, Garnacho. Give me 2 of them. Let me know what you think. I'll be honest with you. I'm not confident. Looking at this team. Not confident. What about the opposition pressure on a kid from their academy as well? That's another huge point, right? Imagine the lift he gets, Chido-Obi, if he plays against Arsenal and scores. That'd be... God, how good would that be for him? It'd be amazing. But if he's got a stinker, you know the Arsenal fan base is going to be right there on his back. Depends on the individual there at that point, I guess. The personality of the guy. We don't know that, to be honest. People react differently to these things. How close is Højlund to getting 20 matches? I believe 1. Literally none of them. I'm down for that. Should we just play with 9 men just to protect certain people? Eriksen and Garnacho, and then bring Xerxes on for Eriksen late on in the game when legs might be tired. Yeah, I'm happy with that idea. Garnacho and Eriksen, is what most people are going for, sort of protecting Xerxes, and I think that's a good idea. The only concern I have, so this is the 11 that we've come up with. Let's just quickly kind of recap what we've got here. Onana in goal, 3 centre-backs across the back, because we sort of went against the poll because we didn't have any wing-backs. Bruno Fernandes in midfield as always. Young Collier in the middle of the pitch, but also physically someone who's really good. The sort of typical wing-backs, not ideal. That front 3 is how we'll word it. Obi's been having beef with Arsenal fans on Twitter too. Yeah. Not sure then. Not sure. Young players have to handle some pressure as well. Yeah, absolutely. Ultimately, if you want to have any chance of being a Manchester United player in the long term, you're going to have to face pressure at some point. So I do agree with that. Got to give you props for interacting with chat. Hey, thank you very much, mate. I try my best. I feel like these streams are made by you guys rather than vice versa. I like you guys to carry a lot of the work because I'm lazy. No, but I think you guys bring a good energy. You bring different ideas. I might have one fixed idea in my head, but then you guys challenge it a little bit by suggesting a different player or a different position. And I think that helps us have these conversations. So, yeah, you guys really carry this. Again, no left footers. Yeah. Trying to eat with just a knife and no fork. And Steve said, I can eat steak with a spoon, which is quite an impressive talent, my friend. I would like to see proof of that. Yeah, I go on about this too much. Probably too much anyway. Maybe you disagree. So many right footers in the team. Give me a summer of left footers, please. Not literally. We probably need a balance. But, you know, Ahmad back in the team would be lovely. Can we get Quenda in the team at some point in the summer? Who knows? Is there a left-footed centre-back we can get? Or Lisandro Martinez returning? Dorgu back? Left-sided or left-footed central midfielder, maybe? Might as well just hand the channel to David. I'm so down, mate. I'm so down. You don't want to do watch-alongs because you watch football with your brother. Have you ever considered doing a women's team watch-along? An analysis on them. Fans don't give them enough coverage. That is honestly a genius idea. I personally, I'll be honest, I don't follow the women's team that much. That could be good fun to do, though. We can do a watch-along. We can analyse at the same time. That could be quite good. I like the sound of that. I might look into what games are coming up and if the schedule's going to open up nicely for that to work. I like it. I like it. We need more left-footed spoons. Truer words have never been spoken. How do United win the midfield battle on Sunday? See, this is where normally I would have said, you know, Xerxes as one of the inside forwards could be a big help to us, dropping in as the extra midfielder to overload. Eriksen will obviously try and do that. Naturally, he'll try and move into these areas. I would just question if physically he's going to help us. I think there is that option to switch to more of a 3-5-2 in moments. I think there is a shout for that. We've seen it in glimpses. We're yet to see it really consistently, but I think it's something we need to look at. My fear with this team, more than anything, is just who scores. You know, set piece. We haven't even got the biggest team in the world. By the way, last night I actually felt that physically we were a better team than someone, which is crazy. What's going on in La Liga? We were one of the more physical team. We were the more physical team last night, in my opinion. Haven't seen that for a long time. And I think that's why we pressed so aggressively. I think Amorim knew that. In this game, physically, we are quite clearly worse off than Arsenal. So I'm expecting a less aggressive press, more Arsenal domination. But what I would really try and challenge us to do, though, particularly if we end up with a starting 11 like this, is don't drop off too deep. Don't collapse too much into the low block. Because if you're going to go deep, right, and try and transition and things, you need that transition threat, and I don't see this 11 having too much of that. So we can drop deep and defend for parts. We'll have to. We won't have a choice. But I think it will be important that we don't do it too much. Don't do it too much, because if not, I think we end up with a problem. That would kind of be my message a little bit. I'm just kind of looking through this 11, and I think Collier, by the way, this side, with Eriksen, is probably a good idea. Probably a good idea to cover some of the leg work there. I also wonder about swapping Yoro and Lindelof, because I would say Dallo is the more physical of the two wing backs. So put Yoro this side, perhaps. Just thinking out loud a little bit. Collier against Rice, by the way. If that happens, I am here for that battle physically. If Collier can compete with Declan, then I will be impressed. I'll be impressed. Similar to Cup game? I think so. I don't see us dominating the midfield battle, to be honest. I think we are going to be on the back foot. I think it will be, like I said, just don't drop too deep, because I think then we'll struggle to get out. Who we're going to have on the bench is big as well. You know, if we can... oh God, I've got to try and find Maguire amongst this now. You know, if I just do something real quick to change this 11, let's take Lindelof out, bring Maguire in, let's assume he's fit. Maguire in the middle, to the right. Yoro here. Yeah, Masraoui stays at wing back. Who else am I trying to bring in? Ugarte. Something like this, I think suddenly looks a lot better. I think we look in a much better place. Suddenly here, I think something can work. You probably go Højlund over Chido-Obi, realistically. Suddenly I'm a bit more confident, because I think we've got a lot of ground coverage suddenly in midfield. We've got that bit of bite about us. We're much bigger at the back now than what we were previously. I like the idea of this. Suddenly I look at this 11 and I think we've got a bit more threat about us. So Amorim's selection will be important. Again, just remember, when the team news comes out, keep this in mind. Next Thursday, is more important than this game. Of course we want to beat Arsenal. Of course we do. Of course we do. And hopefully we will. But realistically, we are looking ahead to the game after. So remember that. If you see someone who you think is a nailed-on starter and you see them on the bench, think maybe they need a rest, because some of them have played a lot of minutes recently. So just keep that in the back of your mind, I'd say. Just keep it in your mind. That's more for Sunday, though. Will I be doing a stream before the match with team news? I think I should be. What time is kickoff? 4:30? So I think I will be live before the game. So that is hopefully when I will speak to you guys next. The last thing we need to talk about today is your score predictions. What do we reckon? What do we reckon? Pre-match stream, question mark? Hey, great minds think alike. We'll be there. Oh, Chad, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Unless you didn't like her, then congrats. Question mark. Damn, you must have only been like 34 at the time as well. That's crazy. Score predictions for this game. United versus Arsenal. You know me. I'm going to predict a United win because I'm delusional. I learned recently that Delulu is the Salulu. So, how do I predict a United win here? There's got to be a way I can do this. And actually, Arsenal struggled to score recently and then scored 39 goals in midweek. Brace from Bruno, says Steve. It's probably our best way of scoring. 2-1 United, yes please. 3-0 loss, 4-1 loss. I was right for yesterday's result, to be fair, so I'll say 0-0. I think most people right now would take the 0-0 draw. I think we would take that if you offered it right now, as long as it's not proper boring, because we like to be entertained still, right? It's an entertainment business after all. 2-1, Cheeto injury time winner at Stretford End. I'm waiting for it. That young man, I'm convinced, is going to score a big goal at some point to win us a game. I thought it might be late on against Fulham. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one. I am going to go for... You know what, I back it, mate. I'm going to go... Also, I did not get my Højlund brace last night that I predicted. Yeah. Early red for Arsenal? Please. 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 I'm going to go... It's a lazy prediction. Nah, screw it. No. Look at me fighting my demons here. I want to say 2-1, but it just feels like a bit of an obvious prediction that kind of everyone does the 2-1. But I'm going to do it anyway because I don't care. 2-1 United. The goals come from... what 11 did we end up with? The goals come from... Lenny Yoro on a set piece. Set piece FC can hold that. Lenny Yoro scores one. The goal for Arsenal comes from Trossard, because I don't like him, so he'll probably score. And then... Garnacho? Garnacho and Yoro? Seems a little bit rogue, but we'll go for it. We'll go for it. 2-1 United, Yoro, Garnacho, and Trossard to score the goals. We take all 3 points. We're happy. What position does that put us in the table? I don't know. For once, I haven't got the table up because I forgot to sort it. I doubt it's too high, though. But regardless, we will take that win all day long. AJ, you need to stop predicting so we can win. Not happening, mate. I will not take the blame for this cursed club. If Dalot had passed to Højlund in the start of the game, he could have gone on for a hat-trick. I reckon he would have. I reckon if Dalot passes that ball, I get my brace. I'm just saying. I reckon it happens. Anyway, for today, we are finished there. Is there any content coming out the rest of today? No, we've already done a video, haven't we? We covered the game last night. So, no video for the rest of today. Tomorrow, there's no video on the main channel. No video on the main channel, but there should be. I need to work my backside off tonight. There should be a video on the second channel tomorrow looking at Asensio at Aston Villa. Now, if you don't know about the second channel, like I've just suggested there, it's all about different football teams for once. So we've got Nottingham Forest covered recently, Madrid versus Madrid, Liverpool versus PSG, an Asensio video coming up. How's he set the world alight, really, at Aston Villa? Who else are we talking about? We've got Champions League coverage coming up next week. There's loads of games. There's loads of games coming up. There's loads of coverage on there, different teams' tactics. So make sure to subscribe to the second channel. It is linked in the chat, thanks to David. Also, join the Discord server, free to join. Leave a like on the stream before you pop out, just because why not? It's kind to be kind. 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 What saying that is? Kind like David, who is in the chat once again with a super chat. David, thank you very much. Guys, that chat should be green by now. David, thank you very much. He's gone for the 2-1 United win. Bruno Fernandes and Cheeto Obi banger. Yes, please. David, thank you very much, as always, for your support. And thank you much to... Thank you much? Sure. Thank you much to everyone that has joined the stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I think we're finished. Thank you very much for watching. I missed your 2-month super chat, did I? Where is it, Glenn? I'll find it. Where is it? Hang on, let me change it to thingy. I did. How did I miss that? When was that? Glenn, I do apologise. Thank you very much for the 2-month membership. I'm very sorry for not reading that out. Guys, could we put in some belated love hearts for Glenn, please? Because I feel bad. I've done this last week as well. Glenn, I'm very sorry. I would take a loss against Arsenal to go through in the Europa League. I think most people would right now, to be fair. It feels difficult to say it. I would take a loss because what a mental statement as a United fan. But I think realistically, it's a fair judgment. It's a fair judgment. Yeah, I do apologise, mate, for not reading that out earlier. Very sorry. Very sorry. Cheeto emoji after his first goal? Yes. Absolutely, yes. Kind to be kind makes sense. It does. That might be our new catchphrase. Kind to be kind. Before I slate these players. Anyway, guys, love hearts in the chat for everybody. Not just Glenn. Although Glenn, again, I do apologise. Love hearts for David as well in the super chats and the gifted memberships. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really do apologise. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Second channel for a video. Please go subscribe to that channel, by the way. I want to hit 500 subscribers so quick because this channel took fucking ages to get to 500 subscribers. So if we could get the second channel there really quick, that would be amazing. So go over and subscribe. Watch the videos as well while you're there. The Madrid one, low-key, is popping off a little bit with the views. So go check out the second channel, please. I kind of care more about that right now than this channel, which is crazy. But, you know, it just made me sad. Anyway, little ramble over. I'll see you guys video tomorrow and then stream, hopefully, on Sunday. And then we beat Arsenal. Happy weekend. Sun's out. United getting 3 points this weekend. And just subscribing to the second channel. It's just a dream.